Hello, my name is Chantel, and I will present Fatigue, a Concept Analysis by Team Achievers. Fatigue is a warning sign, an overwhelming sense of exhaustion, resulting in decreased physical and mental capacity. Fatigue is caused by secondary stressors, caused by illness, and can lead to acute and chronic conditions. Fatigue may be unrelieved by rest and is associated with physiological and psychological. High client acuity, long work hours, demanding schedules, increased client census, and family demands are all contributors to fatigue. Fatigue has been identified as physical conditions that can affect the entire body. Fatigue focuses on mental and or physical exhaustion. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. According to Galatians 6:9, the King James Version. Fatigue can cause physical or mental weariness. Pathologists generally view the physical and mental deficits associated with fatigue as indicators of neuromuscular or metabolic disorders, according to Hart and Real, 1982. Fatigue is a holistic experience. This experience may impact a person emotionally, physically, spiritually, and intellectually. In a 1990 study, Schaefer stated, "Fatigue means my whole being is tired. The tiredness penetrates the whole bone structure. You feel it in the very marrow of your bones. It is a total physical tiredness, and on top of all of that is mental tiredness. It's like an undercurrent that undermines your thinking. Your body is wearing out. The weight of fatigue is in the shadows. If I rest, the fatigue will overwhelm me." Tired, weary, exhausted, fatigued. There's no tired like nurse tired.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Jordan, and today I'll be discussing the purpose of a concept analysis. The purpose of a concept analysis is to break down a broad concept to its most basic components, to identify similarities as well as differences in the concept. The goal of this concept analysis is to identify the negative characteristics associated with fatigue and to discuss its impact on nursing. How does one describe fatigue? Fatigue, unlike tiredness, is unrelieved by sleep or rest. It can affect a person both physically and mentally. Fatigue is described as a lack of energy, both emotionally and mentally, as well as physical exhaustion. Negative characteristics associated with fatigue, such as weariness, stress, or an inability to respond to a situation due to overactivity, can all impact a nurse's performance and have an adverse effect on the delivery of patient care. While there are numerous definitions of fatigue, Macmillan's dictionary provides a good example of how fatigue can affect nurses. It defines fatigue as a feeling of being extremely tired, either physically or mentally. It's a feeling that you've done an activity for so long that you no longer want to do it. while Tabor's medical dictionary defines fatigue as an overwhelming, sustained feeling of exhaustion and a diminished capacity for physical and mental work. Prolonged feelings of fatigue lead to burnout, high nurse turnover rates, and poor patient outcomes. Case models and case studies are utilized to provide examples of a concept. I'll provide examples of a case model and a related model involving fatigue and its effect on nursing. A model case, according to Chen and Kramer, provides a true representation of a suggested concept. In our first case study, T.O. is a 45-year-old nurse and graduate student, a mother of 2 teenage children, a caregiver for her ailing parents, and an ICU nurse for 15 years. T.O. has been working extra shifts due to a nursing shortage. She's experienced poor patient outcomes, resulting in the death of 3 patients. Now she's experiencing emotional effects of the loss, and as a result, she's begun to experience anxiety and insomnia. She's also experiencing physical symptoms from gastritis, with a recent episode of chest pain that required a trip to the emergency room. Now she is fatigued and is considering withdrawing from school and leaving her job for a less stressful one. Again, referring to Chen and Kramer, like a model case, related cases share similar features of the concept, but not all criteria are the same. In our next case, we look at MK, a 29-year-old nurse who works full-time on a surgical unit. She's also working PRN through a nursing agency to earn extra money for a scheduled vacation. During one of her recent shifts, MK has a busy day caring for 5 patients. 30 minutes before her shift is to end, she receives a post-op surgical patient requiring a lot of attention. MK becomes anxious and suddenly feels exhausted. Mentally, she's worried about returning to work the next day. While she does manifest symptoms of fatigue, it is not to the extent experienced by T.O. in our model case.
Thanks, Team Achiever Tiffany. Hi, Dr. Palermo and class. I am Greta from Team Achievers, presenting case number 3, the contrary case, which represents cases that are not congruent with the concept. In this slide, you see an example of a brand new RN who works labor delivery. Her first day was successful. She delivered 2 healthy baby girls. She's so excited and eager that she goes out to celebrate with her friends. They went out partying, drinking Jello shots, dancing, having a good time, in spite of needing to report for duty the next morning at 7 a.m. to do it all over again. Case number 4, the borderline case, uses the identified term in different aspects. According to the Lexical Dictionary, this slide uses the definition of fatigue as extreme weight and stress causing a weakness, and therefore the supporting structure fails and is unsafe. According to the Lexical Dictionary, another example of the term borderline as used in this slide uses the same word, however, with a different meaning. As illustrated here, this Army cadet stands in formation wearing her uniform, which is also known as a fatigue. I salute you. The final borderline slide identifies borderline cases as inconsistent, Walker and Avant, 2011. Furthermore, the purpose of the borderline case is to identify the differences of the concept and also note the positive intentions. Case simplify the invented case. This case reads like science fiction, however, it is way beyond reality. I am introducing to you Nurse Extraordinaire J.K. She is administrative staff nurse and, might I add, rollerblading diva. J.K. is in action. She's able to leap, flip, wheelie, make rounds, pass meds, and food. Solo, might I add, on one skate. She is not only my hero, she is my shero. J.K. has challenged y'all. The flu has wreaked havoc and left her alone to care for all the clients alone. Regardless of how hard she tried on one skate, all of the clients but one died. J.K. is despondent, defeated, and blames herself. She is fatigued and she blades off on one leg. This slide is an illustration of the nurse perplexed with thoughts in her head about antecedents and consequences. What are antecedents? Antecedents occur prior to the event, they're precursors, and they assist the theorists to discover principles of the event. In the case of fatigue, an antecedent is symptomology resulting in physiological and psychological stressors to the body. Raymond Richardson, 1996. In this slide, it illustrates the schematic that shows increased workload, performance expectations, all lead to stress. It's like the brain on steroid overload ending in fatigue. Now, I will introduce to you Team Achiever Georgette. She will discuss the consequences of fatigue. Thank you.
Thank you, Greta, with Team Achievers. My name is Georgette, and I will be continuing on with slide 30, consequences. Consequences are events and incidents that usually transpires after the antecedent. Consequences acts as an influence on the concept, resulting in an impact on the outcome, according to Walker and Abbott 2011. Fatigue can manifest itself usually as forgetfulness, lack of concentration, and just not self-motivated. Other variables which magnify fatigue usually are the quantity and quality of the lack of sleep, emotional stress, overexertion, medications, improper nutrition, and disease activity, according to TAC 1990. Empirical indicators. Empirical indicators are the first step of the process of the concept analysis used to gauge any defining characteristics and attributes as stated in Walker and Abbott 2011. The use of practical tools may be used as a first-hand guide to quantify the phenomenon, measure its validity. In the case of being fatigued, researchers have developed tools that measure and diagnose. It involves observable characteristics of an individual's physical activity, Walker and Abbott, 1995. Crosby, 1991, uses weight grip strength against physical strength. That usually gives the result of being fatigued. Operational definition. Fatigue is proposed as unpleasantries that surround the entire body. It renders feelings of exhaustion and relentless anxiety. It results in conditions that interfere with individuals' capacity to function. In summary, it is of great importance to identify fatigue and its negative effects on the nursing practice. Literature reviews allows us to examine the concept of fatigue and explore its various meanings. In closing, fatigue is something that we all may have experienced, whether it be on a job, with our family, or even on a day-to-day basis. Fatigue is something that is very evident and you're just very tired. It is okay to get a break, take a brisk walk, or even exercise to clear your mind. That may help. How about going out on that movie date, or going out for the night. Sometimes we just need it. Overall, the main things is that we may just need to get rest. That is very important. This concludes our presentation, and we want to thank you as Team Achievers.